Well, we thank you for joining us again every Thursday, 2 p.m. for Don and Gino's DG Media's weekly update of what's happening in the markets and what's really happening. And good news this week, right, Gino?
Well, it is good news, Don, but let's not get overly excited. But inventory is on the way. Builders are building for the first time in a decade a good clip of homes, for lack of a better term.
Okay, so a lot of you buyers out there, of course, everybody knows it's a seller's market right now. There's not enough inventory. The demand for homes, especially since COVID, is risen more than ever. Everybody is like, I want out of the cities. I want my own home. I want more protection. I want more space for my family. And the demand for homes is ridiculous. It is the highest level we have seen in decades. And that is creating challenges for all you buyers out there. So the good news is, yes, inventory has gone, it took a big dip, of course, during COVID. No one is working. Everybody's trying to figure it out. Since then, it's some of the highest levels we have seen in decades.
So let me analyze the psyche of a builder for a second. The market melts down in 2008 and they were stuck with all of this inventory. They had to blow it all out. They all went bankrupt. Total disaster, right, Don?
Mm-hmm.
So when you start to build again as a builder, what are you going to do? You're going to build cautiously. You're going to pre-sell 4 homes, build 4 homes, pre-sale 6 homes, build 6 homes. Okay, that's wonderful in an appreciating market like we've been in over the last 10 years. But what's happening right now is, A, there's a tremendous amount of pent-up demand and they see it, but B, the cost to build is rising. So now they have to build fast because it's costing more to build. And so if now their projections of what they could sell the home for, their profits are starting to shrink if they don't either have rapid appreciation, which they still have, still happening, but they're getting squeezed on the wholesale side for materials. So this became a very dangerous situation. I think you're going to see builders really lean in and accelerate.
Well, on top of that, Gino, the hard thing for first-time home buyers or new entry home buyers is the fact that because of the rising costs, we're talking a sheet of plywood right now. A sheet of plywood is $100 right
crazy.
now that you used to get for like $20, $25. The price of lumber is triple. So therefore, the price of the new homes is increasing. So the government was thinking about, let's incentivize and pump up the market and help buyers come into the market. In fact, now they're looking at, let's incentivize the home builders to build lower income housing, basically giving them a break so that they can charge less for the home, because right now they have to pass on the extra costs. Otherwise, there's no profit and no reason for them to build the homes.
And then no one will build and we'll have a bigger problem, Don.
Exactly. And right now we're at a very high clip. We're still way, way behind. So when you hear people talk about potential foreclosure, it has a lot to do with, as Gino always says, economics 101, supply and demand. Yeah. And there's a hell of a lot more demand than supply. Therefore, and with rates staying very reasonable, in fact, they're even coming back down a little bit, making home prices, even with prices going up, rates being so low, affordability is some of the best levels ever.
Yeah, 7th best in history, as Barry Habib says. So,
right,
it's a really great time to buy a home. And I know that it's frustrating. And if it was a builder, think about building in California. The cost of just environmental and EPA and a decade's worth of holding the land just to try to get a permit to build. So there's a lot more factors than just the cost of lumber or the fear of a market crash or those things. But the good news is there is inventory on the way. A lot of it's not going to be in California. So if you're in California, sorry, we are going to have some, but think about where you're going to have it in California. Developing areas, Bakersfield, Lancaster, not a lot
Santa
of buildings.
Clarita, where we live, 27,000 homes going in.
Yeah, but they're on the outskirts. It's not in the central Valencia that you would think of. It's in the outskirts, right? We're building out by Magic Mountain. We're building out, I believe, all behind Plum Canyon still. So there's definitely still a lot of building. And then heading out the 14, I think eventually, if you look at our regional area, Don, you're probably going to see all that entire gap between Palmdale.
You're seeing Fillmore building. It's filling the gap.
All the gaps are going to get filled. You see Fillmore building between us and Ventura, and you're going to see the 14 build that entire corridor from Sylmar all the way to Palmdale.
Correct. So hang in there, but we'll tell you, purchasing a home ownership is still a great value. It's one of the best investments ever. And we're going to continue to see high levels of appreciation due to the fact that we do not have enough supply and rates are some of the lowest levels in history. They're ridiculous right now. Take
Yeah,
advantage. It's a great time. And then let's touch on a little bit before we close out today, a little bit on the CFPB and forbearance, Gino.
yeah, I don't want to spend too much time on that, Don, but the CFPB put out a statement that under this administration, they are going to crack down on lenders that are not following the proper forbearance protocol. And that's good. So I don't think we need to make a giant issue out of that. I think that's just good management of policies. I mean, so we've seen CFPBs that are overreaching before. That's not the CFPB we have today. Let's hope we don't go back there again. But I think servicers need to be regulated. They have a history of being poor at their jobs.
Well, and that's what we talked about. We talked about foreclosures not being a huge issue moving forward for our housing market. And this is another example that they're going to do their best to control it, make sure that there is no abuse in that area. So good news today. Rates are getting better. Homes are being built, and it's time to be in the home ownership market. And it's also time to pay attention to all the stuff we're doing. It's funny. We just had a bunch of people go, what are you guys doing? When do you sleep? So go to DG Media Inc. to find out all the great stuff that we're working on. In fact, we just filmed American Dream TV, which is it's a lifestyle show. And it does have housing. We have fix and flips. We have $45 million homes, but we'll also show you all these great areas of California. In fact, we just filmed yesterday. It was amazing. And of course, food adventures. It is a blast.
Well, Don, the idea to that is we want to show people how to live and play in LA. That's what we talk about. One of the slogans, right? So let's say you're in Chicago and you're watching the American Dream and you're thinking of relocating to Los Angeles. If you watched our show, you'd be like, well, that's cool. I started to feel like I get to know the area, even though I've never been there. And you could start to get some ideas of where to even start looking if you wanted to live out here.
And where to start eating. Because we find these unique places, not just chain restaurants, unique places. The place we went to yesterday, you'll see next month. It's cool. They brought the East to the West, and you should see this amazing seafood right on Ocean Boulevard in Santa Monica. We teach you a little about the history of the pier, the stuff that we didn't even know. This is really good stuff. So we'd love you to check out more, engage with us more at dgmediainc.com. And of course, you can go to momentumbuilder.com as well. All those 20 speakers that we put this event on that are game changing. They're personal and business development. You can still register and get all 20 presentations. The common thread in the comments was just this speaker alone was worth the price of admission, let alone 20 of them. So it's great stuff, right, Gino?
That's right. So thank you guys for joining us every Thursday at 2:00. We really appreciate you hanging with Don and Gino. Check out all the DG Media websites, Instagram, YouTube, etc. We'll catch you next week.